you know. And I've had enough of this rabble. Come on!
As the chaos spread, the stars seemed doomed to unravel, and yet there were those who stood in defiance of that fate. The hour has come, creature. It's all or nothing. The stage is set, but will our heroes deign to play their part? You took your time. 'Tis as we feared. The respite afforded this land was but fleeting. The end draweth nigh. I knew it. This star still has secrets to tell. Take care, my friend.
So, Charlian would keep its counsel while the world is lost to ruin.
It would. Come what may, we shall live on. We must.
Do as you must then, but we scions will fight until the heavens fall, until our last breath.
Past the far edge of fate. Three blades dark as light. Told the coming of the end.
And there you have it. We are now entering Endwalker. With that, I'm go. We are going to be playing Summoner for the most part, though we are going to be leveling other classes in the background, so that I have something to play besides Summoner when, when I run out of it. But yeah, once we're fully logged in, we are starting the first quest of Endwalker. Dude. first, let's talk to the Scion. Raha? Not only do the members of the forum intend to adhere adhere to their long-standing policy of non-intervention, they made a point of sending Master Fortunat here to explicitly state that fact, rather than simply refuse to involve themselves in our affairs. It would appear they are actively trying to prevent us from meddling in theirs. That does, of course, make Kryle's mission to secure our entry into Charlie and nigh on impossible, but I am confident that she will find a way regardless. I have a feeling the journey to Charlian is going to be quite the test of your nerves, in more ways than one. You'll miss this place while you're away, I just know it. But for now, the best thing you can do is get plenty of rest while we wait to hear from Kryle. Much more have we discovered of the Tolafre's machinations since Tancred and I did return from Garlemald. Barely their troops that appear to have been tempered in much the same manner as those the construction engaged in the construction of the towering edifice in the capital. When Aramvold tried to free the Amalja held tower, it triggered some sort of alarm, and the captives were killed. As such, we have no choice but to leave. As such, we have no choice but to them in the clutches of the Tolafre until a means of rescuing them has been found. Tinian, after the end of the Dragonsword War, I spent many a moon roaming Kugane, Ratzatan, even Garlemald, but never Charlian. In all honesty, nation prelude and populated a nation populated entirely by bookish types like Alphanode is not a place that appeals to me. Let's see. We talked to these ones. Where is Alpha Notes has a quest. Okay. Just need your Stola and Ellie's. Those who are brought within close proximity of the towers are tempered, so serving Garlemald, then forced to summon lunar primals with the aether drawn from the land. But even having understood this, we are yet to uncover the Tolafre's wish to achieve by wish what the we are yet to uncover what the Tolafre wish to achieve by all this. Are the towers purely for strategic advantage or do serve another purpose? Whatever it is my father and the Forum are hiding, I'm determined to get to the bottom of it. And that's all the scions we can talk to at this moment. Let's talk to Alpha. The next ship to sail. Alphanode is feeling the need to take stock. Well, Mage, do you have some time to talk? I would like to gather everyone down for spite and together assess the situation in which we find ourselves. I hope this is voice acted. It is not. Let us take stock of the facts, shall we? The crisis at hand began with the sudden appearance of ominous towers in a multitude of locations throughout the world. We have since learned that said structures were brought to being by an organization known as the Telafora. The Telefra's stated purpose is to recreate the final days of Eon's Past, an apocalyptic event that would result in the destruction of all behold deep. Already have these towers of theirs been the cause of untold suffering. Countless innocents kidnapped and imprisoned, their faith perverted for primal summoning. And unless we find a way to deal with the corruptive aura surrounding the fires, we cannot even get close enough to rescue anyone. Those shielded with the blessing of light seem able to resist being tempered, at least. But after what happened to Olrenvalda and Fordola, we need to be very, very careful about how we proceed. Yet while these threats close to home are of paramount concern, we mustn't lose sight of the situation in Garland. Also, chat, you may notice that I changed up my character's look. I have a new hairstyle. As you know, the Telefrae are under the leadership of Ben Daniel and one other delightful fellow, Xenos Yagapis, the Crown Prince and our dear friend. To date, he's reclaimed his old body, murdered Emperor Vars, and plunged Garlemald into an even deeper pit of chaos. The capital has probably seen the worst of it. For a good while there, it saw the bloodiest fighting in the War of Succession, but that has since changed, in a terrible way. During our reconnaissance, the air was not once rent by the break of cannons or the cries of discord. It was an eerie fog of silence which did blanket the ruined city. The inhabitants appeared to have been tempered, and with nary a word spoken did they labor to transform the palace to a soaring edifice born of nightmares. If they were indeed made thralls, it seems safe to assume that these events too were orchestrated by the Telefrae. An army of primals is awful enough, but in light of recent developments, I fear it is only the prelude to an even greater catastrophe. We need to devise a means to counter this threat quickly, or our allies are overwhelmed. We will find a way in Charlian. I'm sure of it. Master Fortuna's comment regarding the final days were curious to say the least. The Forum knows more than it's letting on. Sorry to interrupt. We just received word from Mistress Kyle. He says that arrangements for your visit have been finalized. You're to head to Limsa and board the next ship bound for Charlian. And on arrival, present yourselves as associates of the students of Valdesian. Come to assist with the order's restoration. The arrangements may be settled, but what of your thought? They must have race at the prospect of returning home after so long. I'm eager to see it, of course. Of course. Ahem. We should set off at once. Then I'll accompany you to the docks. You'll need at least one person there to wave you, carry, and cry and wish you a safe journey. And upon this, we get new music for quests and new quest accept noises. Let's do this. Limsa Limensa. Or docks. Doot doot. Water. Internet. Guild? No, it looks like it's the Arcanist Guild. Like, right where we started the game. And by that I mean right where we started. We started as an Arcanist. We're heading off from Limsa, which is where we started the game all together. And we're heading off into this new expansion from Limsa. Sea travel can be tedious, but I don't mind it. It's a rare experience for most Guardians. I never thought the day would come when I would be sailing home again. Always seemed so very far away. I shudder to think what manner of truth awaits us beyond the Indigo Deep. Still more do I dread the prospect of this, this discussions long overdue. Contrary to what you might think, this will be like going home for me as well. I have learned how to survive Linta, but it was Charlian where I was taught. Quite yes, Reese, reluct, reluct, relent, quite relentless. I might add, the skills to properly live. I might have lived in Master Mentoria's cave for a good part of my life, but even for me, the thought of returning Charlian is quite exciting. I can hardly imagine how is for the others lived most of their lives there. What a grim reason to bring you to Charlian. Not much be done about it, I suppose, but I would have liked to give you the grand tour under happier circumstances. Though a part of me looks forward to returning home, I have not forgotten that my father stripped us of the privileges of our family home name. I hope it doesn't cause trouble with the officials upon our arrival. Everyone's here, which is good because I've already paid for your passage, and the fee non-refundable. Ship for Charlian should be pulling into port soon. So please follow me. I'll have all your luggage close at hand.
They've almost finished loading our cargo. We should be ready to depart right on schedule, or so I'm told.
It's voice acting.
Excellent. 'Tis nice to have a smooth beginning to one's journey, at the very least.
It's funny. Master Louis Soir came here on a ship very much like this one. And now, years later, the street urchin he befriended that day is bound for his mentor's homeland. With his mentor's grandchildren, no less.
Aye. 'Tis upon reflection that every twist of time's river and fate's whims are brought into sharp relief. Thou hast matured much in the intervening years. Wert thou not caught attempting to relieve Master Louis Soir of his purse scant moments after he made landfall upon this dock?
Oh, really? Now that's a tale I'd like to hear.
Will this be your first visit to Charlian, Sir Estinian? Sir Estinian?
Are we strangers newly met? Why this stiff formality?
I, merely meant it as a professional courtesy, since we are now colleagues in an official sense.
I'd rather you dispense with the sirs, especially in private company. Or I'll be forced to respond in kind, little Lord Alphino.
You've made your point, Estinian. Painfully well.
Better.
Are you all right, Tataru? You seem positively distraught.
Distraught? Me? Don't be silly. I think it's lovely that they get to see their homeland. It's just, we're trying to thwart the schemes of an army hellbent on destroying the world. And, once again, I have to stay behind and worry that this is the last time I'll get to see my friends.
I'll bring them back safe and sound.
I'll hold you to that.
Ah, good. You're still here.
Hori! Kultine! What brings you all this way?
We're to assist the Maelstrom and the Kobolds with a lunar primal operation, so we thought we'd see you off before heading to the tower. Flamine and the others wish you all a safe journey, and promise that they'll look after things here until you return. We will too, of course. Aye, we your fellow Scions of the Seventh Dawn will do our part to ensure the end of the world won't happen on our watch.
We're set to sail! All aboard for Charlian!
its time.
Then we must delay no longer. We will contact you the moment we learn aught of value. Wish us luck.
Have a safe journey, and please, please, be careful.
And so you venture forth unto the unknown. A fate beyond the horizon that cannot be divined. A future undefined and in flux. In uncertain times, naught but the simplest words of wisdom will suffice. That which lives is destined to die. Love leads to loss. Every beginning has an end. Treasure every moment, every step of your descent. And there, in the depths where souls and stars rest, find your truth.
Here. Feel. Think.
The day has barely dawned, my fellow earlier riser. Though we're hardly alone in that. Envious of those still sleeping soundly, no doubt. Called out to you, you say? I've heard nothing myself. In any case, I dare say the sea air will do you good. Why not join the others on deck? Charlian should be coming into view at any moment.
Colonel Husky Reese, welcome on in. We are just about to enter Charlian for the first time.
my voice yet reaches you. I am glad. Hear, feel, think. And thus do we meet face to face at last, my warrior of light, guided by the crystal.
Hey, how hype. I don't want to mistrust her because she...
After your sojourn in the First, I believe you have your answer. You have gained an understanding of what I truly am, what Eidolon has always been, a primal. Zodiac was created to forestall the apocalypse which threatened the ancient world, and I was brought forth to bind him. Yet 7 times now, those who would orchestrate a return to that bygone era have rejoined a shard to the god I had sundered. The greater his strength grows, the swifter does mine own diminish. The power to draw your mind into the rift betwixt is no longer mine to wield. Yet though it taxes me sorely, I dare not leave these words unsaid. Even bereft of my guidance, you and your companions have accepted the burden of this star's troubled past. A conjunction has begun to form, an intertwining of your time and mine. Wheels shudder and turn. Conflict looms, monumental, which will decide the fate of this world and all life upon it. When you truly understand what is at stake, and your journey has prepared you to surmount the insurmountable, then shall I honor the promise made in another time, another age.
Cast your peepers to the fore, folks. Sharlayan's just over yonder.
I will not keep you further. Your traveler's heart must yearn to behold this unfamiliar land. We shall meet again, and soon.
Oh, what a fine morning. Oh, still a bit stiff though.
And a good morning to you too. Taken a look at the island already?
Then let's go. Let's go. Might still be room in the prow if we're lucky.
Ah, the sleepers have arisen. There she is. Good old Sharlayan.
Oh, I see it.
Home. Home at last. Well,
Maybe not in Father's eyes. But we'll manage on our own, if we must.
You do know you're not alone in this, don't you?
Indeed. 'Tis as Sir Estinian saith. Forget not the comrades who boarded this ship at your side, I prithee.
Thank you, my friends. We are ever grateful for your steadfast support.
Upon arrival, we will be disembarking into the heart of Sharlayan proper. There is no greater concentration of wisdom in all the world. I am confident that somewhere within that center of knowledge and learning, we will find the answers we seek.
Okay, so this is set to always to auto advance, so I can't disable auto advance here. Endwalker. Let it begin.
Sharlayan, the solitary island nation of the northern seas. Where under the watchful gaze of Thaliak, patron deity of scholars, academics hoard all manner of knowledge and secrets. Once, they deigned to accept foreign students into a distant colony maintained in the Dravanian hinterlands. How swiftly they abandoned it once the first Garlean boot set hostile foot on Alamegan soil. So averse to the prosecution of war, these men of wisdom, your would-be allies.
Old Sharlayan. They're empty.
I thought they'd never let us off the ship. What's next then? Entry applications?
Hopefully they find no cause to deny us.
Hasn't Sharlayan all but severed relations with foreign powers? Those of us without direct ties, myself included, may be refused outright.
'Tis true that, as a nation, Sharlayan only forms trade agreements with a select few neutral countries. But from a practical standpoint, an island cannot afford to be overly strict with its borders, especially not if that island's people are wholly devoted to the accumulation of knowledge. If one submits the proper paperwork, with satisfactory evidence of identity and intent, then foreigners may be granted entry.
May.
Quite. So let us be absolutely clear on these points before we proceed. The immigration officer will ask for your affiliation and your purpose of visit. Considering Sharlayan's views on intervention, I strongly suggest we avoid any mention of the Scions. Kral has laid the groundwork for us to act as associates of the students of Baldessian, and our ostensible reason for being here is to aid in their order's restoration. Grahatir, it might expedite our progress should an actual student be seen at the head of our little group. Would you mind leading the way?
Of course. The immigration officers were this way, as I recall. Shall we? Greetings. We've just arrived and are eager to make our way into the city. Would you be so kind as to process our entry applications?
Certainly. I see by your mark you are an Archon.
I am. Grahat here of the Students of Baldesion at your service. I was assigned to an Eorzean survey team, but have returned to assist with the reformation of my order. My associates here will provide additional support.
Very good. I have paperwork detailing your group and its scheduled arrival for today. And it seems some few of your companions are also Archons. If you'll step forward, we can process those applications first.
Ishtola rule.
See how it glows. That list is etherically linked with a citizen registry kept in the main repository.
I've confirmed your status as Archons and amended your travel records accordingly. Welcome home. Now, who do we have here?
Alphino Leveilleur.
And Alize Leveilleur.
Your applications have also been approved. Having said that, the streets are abuzz with talk of how House Leveilleur's lord disowned his young progeny. And while such personal circumstances constitute no reason to deny you entry, I urge you to avoid exacerbating your present situation. Times are quite troubled enough already.
We shall keep that in mind.
These last two are not Sharlayan natives, but you will find their credentials are in order. An application was made in advance.
Name and occupation?
Mage, foreign adventurer by trade.
An adventurer. Well, I suppose that is considered a valid calling in your native Eorzea, and it does indeed match the profile provided. You may enter. And you, sir?
Estinian Valino, formerly of the Order of the Knights Dragoon in Ishgard.
Formally, at least. And what, pray tell, is your profession now?
If you'll allow me... My associate is a mercenary, hired for his strength at arms. Surely you are aware of the dangers we often face on our forays into the wilderness.
Mistress Baldesion, if you insist on sponsoring his entry, then so be it. But while I appreciate that desperate times call for desperate measures, I find your choice of company concerning. Be advised that even a single misstep may have severe repercussions for your organization.
I have every confidence in my chosen company, dear and trusted comrades that they are. But I thank you for your concern.
Croyle, it is good to see you.
Likewise. Long voyage notwithstanding, you all seem none the worse for wear. There is much to discuss, but this is hardly the place. Let's be on our way, shall we? Oh! Welcome, friends, to Sharlayan.
As your mercenary, I should hope my welcome includes a generous salary.
Well, I had to say something, Sir Taciturn.
And one moment, we are going to stop the story right there and go around the city, tune to the Aethernets all over the place. Dear Lord, Aethernets are annoying. There's a harbor. There's the Aetherite Plaza. Going around the city and tuning to the Aetherites and then continuing the questline. Aldacian Annex. Oh, I moved too early. Studium is next. Next is Rostra. Rostra. I don't know how to pronounce that. This way we can actually teleport to the different places in the city without much issue. Last is the Journey's End area, which has two Aetherites, Levier Estate and Journey's End. And that will be the last of them. Once we tune to Journey's End. You now have attuned yourself to all the Aetheryte shards in Old Charlian. And back to the harbor. And with that, we have all the Aetheryte shards. And we can continue the quest. Allow me to extend into my warmest welcome, Wolf Mage. May the wisdom of my homeland aid us in our endeavors. You are doubtless eager to take sights. Not to worry, Wolf Mage. The city is not like to vanish before we finish our discussion. I'm fine, honestly. Better to be waved through than with a stern warning than be denied entry, after all. That was about as awkward as I expected. Still, we're here now. That's all that matters. Even allowing that the younger years I spent in the past here in the blink of an eye, the city feels untouched by time. Here we are at last, the great city of Charlian. You may have noticed some similarities with the Crystarium, yes? In fact, but we really should let Kyle have her say first. We can continue this conversation at another time. Epistinian's a little too far away. I'm unaccustomed to fabricating lies on demand. Why should it matter how I earn my living? I'm glad I spotted your ship coming port. The officers are born bureaucrats and sticklers for details. In any case, you may relax and take a moment to get your land legs back. Old Charlie and new to you. Trial sweeps the scions with a speculative look. I had thought to launch directly into an explanation of what I've learned and how we might proceed. But this is Wolf Mage and Indian's first time in Charlian, and for the rest of you, a homecoming that was long overdue. You must have places you wish to visit, people you're dying to see. Therefore, I propose we postpone our agenda so that you all may have sufficient time to recover from your journey and get your bearings in. Once you've settled in, we can reconvene at the Baldassian Annex. How does that sound? It's a fine suggestion. You may not be welcome to Levier Estate as such, but I should like to those around the neighborhood all the same. I'm equally untethered, as it were. There is no particular place that I can call home. Still, I would not pass up the opportunity to acquire myself with the city. Likewise, a quick tour of our old haunts might even yield some useful gossip. The annex was west of the Aetheryte Plaza, wasn't it? I shall join you there anon. Yes, we'll see you there. I too have places I would be remiss in not visiting forthwith. By thy leave. What of you, Estini? My services as a guide are yours for the taking, asking. That won't be necessary until we reach. I prefer to wander as the wind. But I could. Oh. Well, Raha, would you like to join us then? You've been gone for quite a while. This would be the perfect way to refresh those dusty old memories of yours. Oh, of course, if you will have me. Come, Wolf Mage. Charlian awaits. Oh dear, his enthusiasm is infectious. After you, my friend, I am more than content to follow your lead. Grahatia is now accompanying you. Keep him at your side in order to proceed with the quest objective. The event you use the Ethernet, Grahatia will catch up to you so long as you remain in the same area. You can leave Grahatia behind, however, by entering a different area. You may also speak to him and select the option Part Base. If you wish to have Grahatia accompany you again, return and speak with him at the original location. While Grahatia is accompanying you, next try speaking with Kai. All set? Then let us be on our way. Our first stop, assumingly enough, will be the last stand. It's a cafe on the west side of the harbor. Crap. Okay. Discuss the strange facility. With all the wares coming and going at all hours, I expect the assistance of an intrepid adventurer will be highly appreciated. I see no reason why you can't undertake any tasks which pique your interest. You have been hired by the immigration official, after all. I look forward to the day your name is celebrated in Charlian and the same way it's Orzia. This place is called the Parasail. Parasail? And it is the first stop for cargo unloaded docks. You'll find the usual necessities for daily living and other important parts vital to running an island nation, but also supplies that further Charlian's pursuits of knowledge. A large quantities of books, specimens, and samples. Sorting these stock certainly seems to keep the attendant busy. There are several little clips like this, and they are shown on the map. see what Graha has to say here. Discuss the giant statue in the harbor. Now that it is a sight one could hardly forget. The great statue of Thalia. As a student of Baldesion, I was usually quite quartered on the Isle of Val, but I would gaze upon the scholar's wise features every time I returned by ship to the city. Nope. Want to talk to Kryl, Dr. Graha? This path leading out toward the sea is known as Thalyak's Sota. The Thalyak Sota, though named for the statue of the scholar which stands at the end. As you know, the Charlian people prize the accumulation of wisdom above all. Thus, then Thalyak was chosen as our patron deity. It was more of a matter of pragmatism than belief, an alignment of principles, as it were. We may have honored him with a rather impressive sculpture, yes, but our faith's not so restrictive as that of, say, the Ishgardians. Individual Charlians can and do worship the divinities of their own choosing. And next we go to the actual quest marker. Here. And here we are, the last stand. I may have mentioned this before, but although our research in nutrition and food preparation is quite extensive, the average Charlian tends to regard seasoning and flavor with a certain difference. How can I put this? The food is, it's bland, as it encapsulates our famous Archon's loaf. The prevailing statement towards cuisine, dietary value first, and taste a distant second. There was one pupil at the studium, however, who could stomach the school's was no longer, so he quit his lessons and poured all his savings building a proper eatery. Also, and so the last stand came to be, is, as the name implies, the sole dedicated outpost of fine dining in Charlie, the one and only bastion of culinary arts in an island of otherwise mediocre fare. I seem to recall their burger being hailed as one of the more impressive items on the menu. Not that I ever had the pleasure of eating one myself. Because you were a typical Charlian when it keep convenient, Raha. But surely Tataru has since taught you how to appreciate a well-prepared dish. We should all stop and time permits. Sample the cafe's delight. Shall we press on? The stairs on the side of the cafe will take us up to the Aetheryte Plaza. Are there any new things? Nope. Then we can just teleport to the Aetheryte Plaza. As long as we don't leave this map, we can travel around. They will stay with us. Achi! Achi, 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 achi. Hello! How are you doing, good bean? You just entered Endwalker and are exploring Charlian. An unusual shape, isn't it? I assure you, however, that it's a perfectly functioning aetheryte. Remember to attune yourself before we move on. Now, being the diligent tour guide that I am, I should make mention of the Confluence, a research facility located on this very plaza. Its much ventured discoveries are the reason Charlian stands at the forefront of transportation technology. In deciphering the underlying principle of Algon aetherites, it allows us to understand and reconstruct what was essentially a lost art. And off we go to our next destination. Our path leads northeast to the Agora, Charlian's largest marketplace. Also, we have some dialogues here. See, Grahatia? Discuss the confluence. Speaking of aetherites, those teleportation fees do add up after a while, which is why I tend to rely on the far cheaper ferry service. I was pleasantly surprised when Mr. Sharo informed me that the Scions are reimbursed for transportation costs as part of our duties, but I find old habits hard to break. That and I'd rather not be bothered filing out the necessary paperwork. Discuss the conflict. That's the entrance to the conflict. I have no doubt their expertise will prove useful at some point, so I suggest you remember the way here. Over here. Oh, it's over here. Discuss the book stalls. Do you mind if I browse the shelves for a moment? There might be some hidden gem I've yet to read. Only a moment. How optimistic. Feel free to browse all you like, but we won't wait around for you. Perhaps I'll return here later then. The book these little open air bookstalls are so unequally ununiquely Charlian. I'd always thought them a common sight until I visited another nation. And we are going where next? Let's see. We go there. We're at the closest aetherite to there. Kyle. Welcome to the Agora, where you can find wares made in Charlian as well as a wide selection of imported goods. They also used to sell questionable prototypes from the various research institutes, but I think that practice has thankfully died out for the most part. Otherwise, I can think of no better place to stock up for your next big adventure. Am I overselling it? On a more serious note, that the next stop on our tour, one which has particular relevance to our ultimate purpose here. We must head back to the Aetheryte Plaza, follow the north path and climb the stairs up to that imposing building at the very top. Like, there's also a little dialogue box up there. Let's ask Raha. Discuss the water. These little decorative features are typical of Charlarian architecture. Aside from the research wing, our headquarters on the Isle of Val were rather simple and rustic by comparison. Discuss the water feature. This is a nimbium, an area dedicated to the blessing of water. For Charlian, water represents more than a life-sustaining liquid. It is a reminder of the great flood which precipitated the birth of our nation, as well as a symbol of the knowledge which flows from Valiak's divine pure. This is the reason you see an abundance of fountains throughout the city and a prominent propensity for utilizing water as a decorative feature in our architecture. Eat. And boop. This grand structure before you, the Rostra. The name refers to the original public platform entrance here, upon which a forum of elected representatives would deliver orations and debate policy. Although the stage has since evolved into council chambers, the nature of the forum and the duties of its members remains largely unchanged. Am I boring you, Raha? You seem awfully distracted. My apologies. From here, one can see the entire city spread out below. The vista put me in mind of my arrival in the first. Those who had gathered at the Crystal Tower asked me how they might go about building a new home. Naturally, my answers were all inspired by my knowledge of the finest settlement I could ever think of, the great city of Charlian. And bit by bit, those few buildings grew into a town, a community, the Crystarium. I can almost see its echoes. I see. Feel free to come up here whenever you wish. I don't think the counselors would object to you simply enjoying the view. Such memories should be treasured. For now, however, the tour must go on. Our spectacle of sightseeing concludes with the fittingly named Journey's End. Walk down the stairs to the east and continue straight ahead. Nope, no more talky things. Oh, I want to show you something. Watch that. They just fall. They just fall straight down. Let's see. A better example of this. Yeah, they fall straight down. They don't even jump. Which I find funny. Okay. We've arrived at Journey's End. History tells us that this was where those who put ashore the Archon I can't read that word, built their first homes. In the present day, it serves as the residential district for the most important officials and the oldest Charlian families. You'll see that one mansion is clearly larger than neighbors. That estate belongs to our friends from House Levier. All things considered, we should probably keep our distance for the time being. And with that, we bring our little Charlian tour to a close. I hope it has proven to be an entertaining and enlightening experience. Now shall we head directly to the Baldessian Annex? And remember, you remember the way, right? Don't you, Raha? Let me think. We head down towards the harbor, cross the bridge, to our right, then follow the path below to the Aetherite. Correct. After you, Wolf Mage. I don't have to do that. Unless I want to... Oh. There's one more dialogue thing that has appeared. And then we can travel to the Baldessian Annex. Discuss Journey's End. We crossed this bridge here, as I recall. Stick to the path and be careful not to end up back in the Aetherite Plaza. Discuss Journey's End. Charlian is full of educational and research institutions, but there are still professors who prefer to establish their own private practice. Not that I ever attend the elective schools they run in these residences. Perhaps the twins could tell you more about them. Now, we head this way. We could just teleport to the Baldessian Annex via an Aetherite instead of walking all the way there. Yay! Because I decided to Baldessian Annex. Because I decided to do the Aetherite before starting this. talk to Cryo. As the joyous look on Raha's face has undoubtedly informed you, this is the Baldessian Annex. If you continue up the hill, you'll arrive on the doorstep of the Green Dominion. I can't read that word, but I think I've explored enough for one day. We can take you there another time. Side with you then. Atomic! Hey, Atomic, it's been a while. Welcome on in. I'm back, and I brought Wolf Mage and Raha with me. Oh, you were right about the ship. And hello, Graha. It's nice to see you again. And it's a pleasure to finally meet you, Wolf Mage. I've heard many tales of your exploit. Ojaka Tujaka has been an age. Allow me to introduce Ojaka Tujaka, Administration Officer for the students of Baldessian. He oversees the day-to-day business of the Annex. Champion of Eorzea has featured prominently in Cryo and Graha's reports, so for me, this is akin to seeing a fabled hero come to life. It is an honor to make your acquaintance. This place is like a second home for the Isle of Val vanished as served as our main headquarters, of course, but we often had occasion to visit Charlian. Whether to make use of the city's research facilities, attend conferences, or procure supplies from distant shores. Yeah, and the annex here was built to provide lodging for our members while we engaged in such activity. Ever since our former headquarters, along with the isle itself, finished, the annex has served as our base of operation. And yet it feels so empty. With so many lost to us, our organization is a shell of its former self. The day will come when we will see this again. But first, we must ensure that the Telophore falls. Through that door on the left, there is the main hall, where we can discuss our options moving forward. Once everyone arrives, that is, you probably have time to rest before our discussion begins in earnest. I've had perfect quarters prepared for you in the Andron, so please feel free to make yourself at home. The tap room, perfect for an afternoon dude. Oh, I don't mean to give you the wrong impression. The chambers are quite well appointed, far more so than some cheap roadside inn, may be assured. But simply that we were often so busy research and exhausted from journeys abroad that we would slip into the Andron just to steal a few winks. And thus they became known amongst the students as nappers, even if many such naps might last well into the following morning. Say the word and I'll be happy to show you to your chamber. Hopefully the others won't be too long coming. I'll wait for you in the main hall. But I think I'm going to end the stream. I was only going to stream for a short time today. So I hope you guys enjoyed my stream. I hope you guys stop by again. Till next time, I've been Wolfmate 1011. See you guys then. Bye.